Yo, 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 welcome to the Simuka Comedy Virtual Festival 2020 edition. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. This has been a 3-day marathon filled with laughter from Friday, Saturday day, and today, sunny day. We hope you guys are going to enjoy the festival so far and you have a good time. So right now we're doing this comedy symposium, business of comedy. We are going to be discussing on how you go around the business side of things when it comes to comedy. One of my days a manga. Yes, there's a manga, but we want to discuss more on how you can make this an actual business. So today I'm with joined with a big team that I have. So I'm going to start with King Kandoro. How are you, King Kandoro? King Kandoro is the founder of Madhorofiya Republic. He's a stand-up comedian, an actor, sketch comedian. He's all in one. And King Kandoro, please, may you introduce yourself and maybe a background of what you do at Madhorofiya Republic. So may you please, so you can't hear anything. Can you please unmute?
Okay. So Madhorofiya, we do everything from like you mentioned, sketch comedy, podcasting, selling merchandise, stand-up shows, pretty much anything that can be done within the realm of comedy. We try to do everything. So yeah, we try to have as much fun, try to create content that can stimulate larger conversations using satire. That's pretty much it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's really great. Also today I'm joined with Sylvia Mkwindiza. Sylvia is the admin and communications officer at Buzyness TV. Sylvia, may you please introduce yourself and tell us more of what you do, what you guys do at Buzyness TV, so that the world knows what you guys are into.
Hi everyone. I'm Sylvia, like Kadem said. Hi Kandoro. Glad to see you. So I'm with Buzyness TV. I'm the admin and communications officer. I've been with Buzyness TV since 2017. So at Buzyness TV, our core business is content creation, and we've been at it since 2014. So it's a bunch of things that we do. It includes satirical skits. That's what we are popularly known for. We do satirical skits. We do short news episodes that are of human interest. We also we have been creating some web series that have also been trending that try to capture what people go through in their daily experiences. We also do documentaries. We travel around the country, capturing people's voices and giving them a platform. We also do video and photography for both social and corporate.
Wow. That's quite a lot of things that you guys do. And I'm sure from the back end, they're just seeing the finished things. They don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And I'm sure you're given a detail of what you guys are really into. And also, I'd like to welcome my brother from another land, all the way from overseas. I would like to introduce Ntando Van Moyo, founder of Umasegisa Comedy in the skies there. How are you, Ntando? Please introduce yourself so that the people get to know who you are and what you guys do at Umasegisa Comedy.
I'm Uma Comedy Club in Bulayo. We are an overall humor services.
I think the network is a bit glitching there. I didn't get the last part that you said.
Yes, the network is a bit.
So maybe we want to check that up again.
Yes, I'm saying we are a humor services provider that mainly focuses on using humor to raise issues that affect marginalized societies, like the ones that we cover, as well as we create programs and content that deals with current affairs and social issues.
Oh, that's really great. That's really great. Umash Lekisa is also a promoter of stand-up comedy in Zimbabwe, which is also a great thing. Right now, I'm about to introduce another brother of mine. Please welcome Comic Pastor. Comic Pastor is a comedian, he's a business person, he's a co-founder of Comic Pastor and Associates. Comic Pastor and Associates. Comic Pastor, may you please maybe tell us your background of how maybe you rose to fame and how the journey has been so far as you introduce yourself.
Okay. Ngubani lo? Nguwe Mandla. Wena Mandla. Mandla. But the microphone
Yeah, I think if you are not speaking into the
Mandla, the microphone. Yeah. Right, I think everyone can hear me now.
Sure.
Right, so the Comic Pastor, I think my rise to fame came, I think, 2014. But I had been recording some stuff, I think, from 2013. I'd been recording things that I did not publish because maybe Facebook was not taking videos and a lot of things. But already we had camera phones and whatnot. So I think the skit that was received so much was the Shamu skit, which I believe people loved, and that's the one that made a lot of noise. So that was, I think, now 2014. And from there, we've been creating content from skits, short stories, series, and a lot of things. So now we have the associates. Associates are people that work together from various. We have videographers, we have editors, we've got print guys. We have so many people, graphic designers and whatnot. So the associates are now a group of people who are gifted in various places. So in associates, we have one, a recording studio. We have Alicia as the producer. Then we also work with Studio Art Pictures. Studio Art Pictures, they are a video company. They make musical videos. They do other things besides just musical videos. And also we have the Slick Pastor. We also have got other actors, Gamu, Patricia. They are actors in their own rights. And then we also have KD Media, which is a photography company. And then we also have got Kandoro, which is a print company. So they are all working under the associates, and it's more of an advertising company than just comedy. But that's what we're doing.
That's really great and very inspiring indeed. So maybe I'll throw this back to you, Comic Pastor. No one can argue that Comic Pastor is a brand, and Lekisa is a brand. Madhorofiya Republic is a brand. Buzz TV is a brand. How do you build a brand? For you to be now a brand, what's the journey? What do you need to do to become a brand, especially when it comes to comedy?
Okay, so that is the first thing that people would tell us when we started. Build a brand, and you'd meet people in town, you'd meet people everywhere, and they will say, build a brand. Now you are a brand, and you start to think, what are they saying?
Yeah.
What are they really trying to communicate? Okay, so a brand is a solid, I would want to say a solid state of a character. This is the side that takes money. This is the side that that is the money side of a person. Besides doing comedy for fun, besides releasing skits for fun so that people can enjoy, which has been our core business. When we started, we had no one coming to say, I want to put money in this, I want to put money on that. We did this just to entertain people for free, for fun. And then after that, then we started having other people approaching us and saying, we want you to advertise for us. We want you to do this for us. We want you to do this. So now you build a brand. You start to build a brand, one, by consistently doing what you were doing. If you stop doing what you're doing, then your brand dies. You are a brand before you get money, but now you consistently do what you've been doing, then people start recognizing. Because when we started, we only had maybe 500 followers. I remember celebrating 250 followers on my page. 250 followers. So
And now we are
I
at
was already a
how many
brand.
followers are you right now?
I'm on 250 on my Facebook page. YouTube it's 70, 79, and then Insta 150. So what I'm saying is, when we celebrated those 200, that was the beginning of the brand. So also, it's also in the way you now handle yourself, be it in public or in your private life. So now there is a lot to a brand. The way you handle yourself, the way you continue creating and working on your content, and what you believe in as a person. So there is a lot. A brand is not just a thing that you wake up and say, now I'm a brand. You have to work for it. You have to put a lot of work so that people will recognize you, and there is no way people can just bypass you.
Oh, that's a great detail. I'm sure people are seeing that. But when you guys flying to Victoria Falls, is it last week? You guys are
Yes.
doing a great thing. So actually, people out there can still, but at least it's a good thing. So we have a stereotype. There's a mentality misconception that people out there have, especially parents, when you want to start getting involved in this arts, you see it as something that you're going to, maybe you are going there to disrupt yourself, and you're not going to make anything out of it. But at least you guys, the guys that are here, you are doing the most in terms of comedy, and people can really see the strides. So it's a good thing. Ntando, I would like to talk about maybe in terms of comedy, how what experiences have you gotten so far from the Ntando has left us. So King Kandoro, maybe I'll throw this to you. From from your side, what experiences have you gotten so far? Maybe these are experiences, be it downfalls or maybe opportunities that you have maybe realized from comedy, and you feel like this have made you grow over the years.
I think the most important thing that I realized early on was just the importance of comedy as a way to participate in larger conversations, be it national processes, political conversation, just adding our voices, young people, to safety, or these are the things that matter to us, because comedy is one of those things where it's very non-confrontational. So using it to communicate those important things was very important, considering personally, Nina, I can't fight, so you can't go around beating everyone, you know. So what other way can I communicate? Let me use this comedy to participate, be it, you know, those satirical skits where you're questioning but boy it is the government, you know, or boy it is the so and so, and boy, and so I think that's one of the things that I realized early on, that it's very incredible if comedy is used this way. But also, I think, like you said earlier, the misconception behind comedy not being a viable and feasible, you know, activity in terms of actually feeding oneself. I think I realized very early, it's not really a misconception, because people don't really have the information available. You know,
that's true.
We haven't done enough to change people's minds. But the honest truth is, I think also it goes back to us as comedians. We don't have infrastructure support. Like, there's nowhere in the Ministry of Arts and Culture, there's no one who's thinking about us. Right?
Yeah,
like
that's
when
true.
when they come out and make their speeches, you don't hear mention of comedians.
Comedians,
right?
yeah.
Like, they don't mention us at all, but we are the
of-
first people they think about when they want us to run around and MC their things, like little things, $150. That's when they think of us. But when they're doing big carnivals, big award shows, big shagadaros, they don't think about us. So it leads people to think, but how are these people surviving when, you know, when they are not? But really and truly, I think comedians have done well in terms of setting up. You can tell, like, you know, there's an industry for people who makes skits and sketches, right? There's people that have done incredibly well in that realm. There's people that have done well in that realm of political skits. There are people that have done well in terms of short dramas. There are people that have done well in terms of stand-up. And we've done all this without anyone, you know, helping us, and people have able kurora indakatorora nemari comedy.
Yeah, I remember.
And I know I'm not the only one.
Marie, confirm with Maria about the conspiracy theories.
Ndaitwa nyepawo zvangu paya yange yashuka. But you get what I'm saying, Kuti.
I do.
The comedy itself has really been viable for us to this extent, and we're still very much a small industry. I can only imagine what can be done, like, especially after these conversations that Simuka is organizing. What can like, when the information actually gets out to the people, people are survive, they're actually feeding their families, they're actually, you know, building some things, and we have more people joining in, and the industry gets big and stuff. How, yeah.
All right, thank you for that. We just lost Ntando again. I think network is doing something, or maybe the data itself. But well, I'm sure he will be joining us soon if he finds a good spot. Sylvia, I know Bustop TV works with corporates a lot. What is the role of comedy in the corporate world, and why is the world all of a sudden they're now embracing us as comedians? If you find, for example, in South Africa, Savannah uses comedy to push the brand. Nando's does the same. Here in Zimbabwe, we have the likes of Mambo's, you know, Chicken Heart, that also now beginning to use comedy as a way to push the brand. So what is really the role of comedy maybe in the corporate world? How can we link comedy to the corporate world?
Yes, we've been working with corporates a lot. Not only corporates, but even even individuals. But corporates have been coming to us. I think The thing with comedy is that it's easy to relate with, unlike other channels of communication or modes of communication. Comedy is easy. It breaks down information in a very relatable way. So I think corporates have realized that their audiences don't like serious stuff.
Serious
They don't
stuff, yeah,
like
that's true.
boring. So they would rather find someone who's already a people person. For example, I'm talking about people like Wana Guneti.
Yeah.
They are relatable with even their lifestyle or their background. So they've realized that, and we've also realized that some of these advertisers, these corporates, their information is not everyday information. It's complicated sometimes. Issues about rights, issues
I know.
about gender-based violence, issues about consumption of goods. Those kind of things. They're boring in most
Yeah,
cases.
I know.
Yeah. So with comedy, the information is delivered in a funny way, in a rememberable way, in a shareable way. Someone can go after watching that advert and say, I remember that advert by this comedian
Sure.
because it was funny, and they also go ahead and share. So that's another aspect. And corporates have also realized that comedians have an audience. Most of them have an audience that follows them or that's loyal to them. They have large audiences and numerous supporters. They have their own platforms, which have thousands of audiences. If you look at all the comedians, all the top comedians that you know in Zimbabwe, they have thousands of followers.
Sure.
So that's the other thing that they'll be trying to buy. That's what
This is the issue of
corporates.
social capital.
Yes. So unlike TV, you don't have the numbers available to you in an instant or easily. So with comedians, they have their own platforms in most cases, which they control and which they can easily submit their audience numbers. And they have different platforms, not just one. For example, Pastor TV is on Facebook, is on YouTube, is on Twitter, is on Instagram. So you can add up those audiences and you come up with a huge number. That's the other thing that they are looking for.
All
And,
right. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
okay. The other thing is comedy, it lightens up the mood. You have seen, I think we
That
still
is,
have a long
I think. Let's be fair. It lightens the mood if you are fun. Yes, it does.
if you're funny.
Yeah,
Even if
if
you're
you're.
not, even if you're not funny, people still laugh
Yeah,
because you're not funny.
yeah, they'll laugh
Sometimes,
at you. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
still the message is not so complicated when it's delivered by a comedian. This is their job. They are used to delivering messages. Even political stuff, comedians have dealt with complicated, untouched political stuff, and comedy breaks it away, and
yeah,
people
that's true.
find it funny. People can
Maybe
relate.
another.
People, sorry.
I wanted to say, you said people, comedians are dares. They dare. They go to off the limits, like politically and stuff. Doesn't that also affect the business side of things? In that some clients maybe now are afraid of working with you because they think you are politically affiliated when you are just trying to put a message without taking a side or something. Sometimes the satire doesn't take a side; they're just putting things as they are. And then maybe some people are afraid or they have a misconception that if they work with you, now it's like they're affiliating to a certain party and stuff like that. When you are a balanced person who's just putting out information and messages as it is.
Okay. Being a comedian doesn't mean that you're taking any side at all. Please get that clear.
Yeah, sure.
For example, at Bastard TV, we never take any political side when we deliver our information. We have we have broken down
Kandoro, are
information.
you arguing? What are you saying? No.
Aiwa, no evidence. What you can easily do is go to this platform and see, haven't we dealt with information from all political parties? We have dealt with
No, you have.
sort of, yes. So
I know even sometimes you get accused of being ZANU-PF, sometimes of being MDC, sometimes of being. Yeah.
It's not easy being balanced, but we always try to be balanced. So I was saying, you're talking about being at risk.
Yeah.
Now we go back to the issue of brands. You were talking about building a brand and it's now your choice concerning your brand. Do you want to be a brand that fears some of the issues or a brand that goes all out? Do you want to be a brand that's respected for being a voice of the people, a brand that anyone can easily come to when they have crucial information, or a brand that someone can fear, that can hesitate to come to because they know that this one, they don't touch some issues because they're afraid?
All right.
So it's just a matter of choice, of making choices concerning your brand. Of course, there are cases where it's very risky. There are cases where you have to compromise. When you talk about corporates, sometimes corporates don't want any political stuff in their company. Sometimes NGOs don't want they also don't want you to talk about political individuals or people that are identified as political brands. So it's just a matter of making your choice and deciding concerning that matter or that, yeah. But in most cases, I've seen most comedians going all out.
What do you mean by going all out? Like,
okay, so with satire, we're talking about comedy, and for us, Bastard TV, we use a lot of satire. With satire, it's a plus for you. You are talking about things that are a taboo using satire. So sometimes you get away with anything. You're talking about things that people don't want to talk about using satire.
yeah, sure.
You're criticizing, yes, you're criticizing abuses. You're criticizing human rights abuses. You're criticizing human rights interest issues. As long as it concerns people, you're trying to speak for people. You're trying to initiate dialogue with satire. So that's the advantage. You're not clearly stating it out that you're against this because it's for the people, or you are against this person. You're not doing that, but you're just putting out information and then allowing people to discuss
Think
or to
about
make
it.
their own.
Think about it and talk about it. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So, which means comedy is actually a voice. Maybe what people cannot say, the comedians bring it so that for discussion. Like, guys, is this okay? What do you think about this? So, which means it's a powerful tool. And maybe I would want to throw this to Dando. Now that comedy is a powerful tool, obviously it has to bring in some money. There's someone out there who's listening. But how do you make money from the start? If I want to start comedy now, how do I make money? So maybe Ntando, if you want to take us a journey of how you managed to monetize this art from where you started until now, how have you done it? So that at least someone out there, hold in kuti start with a comedy. They may want to know how do you make the Golangwa out of comedy?
Yeah, there's no money in comedy. I just do it for fun. I mean, you have to be strategic, man, on how you make money from comedy, because first of all, going back to the brand, being a brand, how you brand yourself, how you create your brand. the type of content that you create, because you can be very funny, but you're creating content that is that cannot be monetized. Sylvia was talking about some political stuff, because you can be funny with satire that is political, and then you end up not getting gigs because people feel like your comedy is
Affiliated.
attacking them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So the main thing is to be strategic on your content. Also, know your audience. Who are you creating for? Because if you're creating for people that will pay, for corporates that will pay, for civic society that will pay, then you will make your money. So at times the mistake that most people make, I will say, especially with stand-up comedy, is most comedians think you'll make money on stage. Trust me, you won't make money on stage by doing shows, just coming on stage and then being paid for stage time. We all know how much you get paid for stage time. So the spin-offs are then what helps you make money. Because once you're a comedian, or you're a humor practitioner, then you have to look at the other avenues, like giving talks, creating content, digital content, hosting events, aligning yourself as well to where the money is, man. Because at the end of the day, we are really not here just to make people laugh, but we are here to align ourselves to where the money is. So I think that's the best strategy, is to know who you are creating for, and create a value for yourself, and create a brand that is consistent as well. That way you will then make your money. That is how you will make your money.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Dan. Maybe I'll also throw this to Comic Pastor. Comic Pastor, like, how have you managed to monetize your art? And also, what influence have you gotten from being on social media? How has being on social media helped you grow yourself as a comedian and also help you monetize the art?
Okay, so I'll start with monetizing. Okay, from my first concept, my first okay, not the first skit, but from the first viral one, the Shamu skit. After I did that skit, then I got approached by Stuart Bank. Stuart Bank wanted to convert that skit into an advert. So
maybe
I
before
remember
you
those
continue,
days
maybe before you
from
continue,
the
before you
Shamu
continue,
skit.
sorry, before you continue, sorry to cut. I wanted to ask. Usually, do you go to the corporates or they come to you, like in terms of comment wise? Like, do you have to go to them or do you wait for them to come to you?
We wait for them to
Comic
come to us. It's very difficult.
it brings value.
It's very difficult to knock on people's doors these days and say, we can do this for you. It's not that hard, but at the same time, it might sound like a sign of desperation and say maybe you are broke, so we want to create things for you. But all I'm saying is that sometimes, okay, they come. We have some people that we meet and say, but you guys, don't you see that your brand is going this way? Can we not help you do that? That is if we interact on a certain level of life, and we understand each other that. But for bigger corporates, I'm talking of these guys that are already known, they come to us. So from the first gig, from the first skit that went viral, Shamu, they came, Stuart Bank came. I know I didn't charge them much because I was going through an agent. So, but then that's the beginning of monetization. Um, and also with places like YouTube and Facebook, you still can monetize your content. Make sure you get paid, be it monthly, yearly, whatever you prefer, because of the content that you create. We all know the process where you have to get 1,000 subscribers, then go through 4,000 hours watch time, and then get registered with Google Ads and whatnot. That's another way. There is definitely money in that. But also, as a comedian, you don't just sit on. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You also do a lot of things. We do emceeing. We do events, be it social or national, whatever event it is. We do MC. and also there is a charge. Chinhu chihombe chinganetsa kunzwisisa value yezvinhu zvauri kuita. I think ndo dambudziko ringave riripo with a lot of comedians and other people, is knowing the value that you're giving people. I always tell corporates when they come and say, I tell them that we are giving you a platform that has got more than 4 full national sports stadiums. So we're saying we're giving you a platform where definitely whatever we say, someone will hear it and someone will buy it. So so that's the idea. And also being on social media. Okay, when we started, social media was just for interaction. I believe even when I was watching social media network, I think it's a film on Mark Zuckerberg. He started Facebook for interaction, just to have fun, mix and mingle with people. But then it has gone beyond just mixing and mingling. It has become a business. So now with the number of people that follow us, I believe it can be converted into money. So you can't have 250,000 seated there and you can't be selling Maputi to them. There is always a need. There is always someone looking for something. So that's also where our money is. So money is there in comedy in the sense that you don't have to look in one direction, but look at all angles and say, okay, if I'm a good comedian, if people like what I do, can they not hire me as an MC? Okay, if they don't hire me as an MC, can I not monetize my channels and get money from abroad? This is money that's coming straight from America. It's straight into your account. If you can't do that, can corporates not come to you and give you gigs and access? If not so, can I not go at their doors? That's what we're asking. Can I also not knock at someone's door and say, I'm a good comedian, give me a gig, pay me? So there are so many avenues. So that's how you monetize. You don't monetize one way. I tell you, I no longer do stand-up comedy. I always tell people that I don't like doing stand-up comedy because it's expensive on my end, because I need to take my suit to the dry cleaner. I take my suit to the dry cleaner, then I also pass through a place where I eat food and whatnot. And then on stage, you after the gig, you get $40. It's not fair. It's not proper. You use fuel, you use a lot of things, and stand-up comedy pays you $40, $20, $30. It's not fair. But it's my choice because I don't want to do stand-up anymore. But what I'm saying is you need money. We need money, and money comes from different avenues.
All right, thank you, Komi Pastor. You talked about stand-up not paying enough. King, what do you think we need to do to at least get some of these comedy aspects like stand-up comedy, these kids, so that they end up paying more than what they are paying probably now or what they used to pay back then? What needs to be done? Or maybe I'll throw it to everyone. What do we turn? What do you think we need to do? Yeah.
I think the challenge is
No, I was going to.
okay. The challenge here is the economy itself, not just the comedy industry. We might do, we might promote our comedy, we might collaborate and do all sorts of things to make the industry grow. But if the economy doesn't grow, it's not anyone's fault.
So
That's the challenge. And no matter how much these comedy shows are organized, it will still require lots of money to organize a comedy show. You still need lots of money to pay your comedians. And Comic Pastor said, you invest a lot for you to come up with one product, and you end up getting peanuts for it. Yes, we will still do it for the sake of the business, for the sake of the growth of the industry, but the business side can really be demotivating.
I know, but I think King Kandoro will be one person who may want to argue on that one. Could you stand up comedy in a beg? King Kandoro, tell these people what stand up comedy can do.
So with you might actually look like I have. I think to a great extent, I agree with what Sylvia is saying in terms of in terms of fighting against the grain, right? There's the one aspect where our economy really, like I was going to say earlier, if we continue on this path, talk on politics, but really and truly the issue is there is no disposable income with people. Like when things are going well in the economy, people have my $50, my $100 to spare when they've paid for everything else. So, you know, and then they start going kuma show, kuma concert, kuma comedy, you know, all these other things. But as things stand, everyone needs all the money that they have to pay for the important things. So kutazofunga kuti ndira kubhadhara kandoro $3 or $5 ekwina mushow. So
WhatsApp jokes anenge achisekesa.
Exactly. But then on the other hand, to just piggyback off what Comic Pastor says, it now goes into doing all those other things now, right? Where it's not necessarily the stand-up, but your comedy is growing maybe through the hosting gigs, the corporate work, all the little skits,
the content that you're creating.
To the extent that maybe when we put so much energy into one show, right? It's going to we sell that show as a big show. The returns might be worth it in the long run. Whereas right now, as it stands, those expecting returns from every show every month might not be the best way to go about it. But working on it to have that point where we're saying, oh, we are leading up to this show in December, or we're leading up to the show on Valentine's Day, or we're leading up, maybe that format may work, because at least maybe you're giving people an opportunity to put $1 aside until they get to December, you know, or until they get to so I think little things like that where it's supplemented. I think another way is also tapping onto that network and looking. There are selfless people out there who are willing to support creatives, maybe because they've made their money a long time ago. I think they now needs into tapping into those networks, into civic society to say, guys, this is our industry. We're trying to do A, B, C, D. Can some money be put into, because Tiritega by ourselves, we can't do this, you know? By ourselves, we can't do this. So asking for that money to set up the infrastructure, like the same way that, you know, Simuka Comedy is putting up all these schools, School of Satire, you know, all this production, all these collaborations, setting a ground level, because the thinking is as soon as things get back to normal, as soon as things go back to normal, at least we have structures in place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wow. Thank you for that. But and then there is also another issue. Maybe I'll throw it to Ntando and Sylvia. So Ntando, maybe you check that up first. Sometimes, how do you balance, you know, the admin side of things? You know, a lot of us do not have, like, you know, those managers, and you need to take care of the admin side of things yourself. At the same time, you need to be creative so that you keep exploring various avenues. How do you balance that? How do you manage that?
Yeah, I didn't quite get you properly, but I gather what you're asking is how do you balance between admin and performance?
And performance, sure.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, man, it's quite a tricky thing. I think balancing between admin and performance is having a solid team, you know, because of course, you know, especially at Umahlegisa, you know, we have different roles. So as also being the head of creative at Umahlegisa, I also do some admin work, which means that I have to have a stronger team that will take most of the admin work of my back, and if I'm concentrating on the creative, you know. And also, if you're going to be on the creative side, you need to know when are you creating, what's the priority right now. Is the priority on the creative side, or is the priority on the admin side? So the balance, then that creates the balance, because if priorities are on the admin side, then you put more of your energy on the admin side, and probably lesser energies on the creative side, because the creative side is probably balanced at that time. I think that's one way to go about it.
All right, all right. Sylvia, how do you take that up? How are you managing from your end?
From our end, it's a matter of sharing responsibilities and sharing roles and duties. So there are times where you have a ton of things to do. You have production, your own productions, and then you have sponsored productions. You have proposals to write. You have questions to send. A bunch of things to do. You also have to run your social media platforms and your channels. If you're a comedian, you can't do that all by yourself.
Sure,
You need to have a team that helps you do that. So you need someone who does finance, because indeed there's going to be finance stuff involved. You're going to need someone who does communication, someone who does writing, uh, something like that. But again, if we look at it, it's a challenge also, because sharing our responsibilities requires money, and sometimes the
that's
money
true.
is not paid to pay the team. So it's also a challenge. But that means each person has to put in effort and make your payments commission based or something, so that everyone is motivated to work and earn something. So the more effort you put, the more income you get. That means you're going to need to look out for opportunities. Sometimes these opportunities, you have to create them. You have to put in efforts in other areas. For example, for us, you put in efforts in video production, you put in efforts in event hosting, you put in efforts in creating some web series to publish on your YouTube channel, so that you can get more income through advertising on Google. So that's what you have to consider when it comes to managing the admin side, and also managing the creative side, because you can't be creative at the same time be formal. It's a
Yeah,
challenge.
sure.
Some people can manage and do it all by themselves, but it's a challenge, because you miss some opportunities while it's trying to manage your relationships with your clients. Sometimes you have to go out and or Google some call outs for you to apply for some opportunities, so that you get funding to do some projects.
Yeah.
Can't really wait for an opportunity to do stand-up comedy, or an opportunity to collaborate with someone who's going to pay you. You have to do it yourself in most cases.
All right, sure. That's really insightful. King Kandoro, from your camp, Madhorofiya, I see you are bringing out content on a consistent basis, which means your creative side is going through. And also for your, I would want to understand how you are managing to do that, since you also have to do the admin side of this to ensure that this is sustainable. You need to be on the ground running the admin work. How are you balancing that?
I don't know I don't know if it's much of a balancing act. It's just a constant battle. I think success for me at this point is just not being in debt. You do what you
Yeah.
can on a daily, because if you compare to what
Yeah.
bus stop is doing, where bus stop really has the structure there, Sylvia is handling the administration and the communications. There's people that edit, there's people that, for us, it's really just what needs to be done today. Okay, let's do that.
Pretty much.
If
Pretty much.
and I think it's also that's because of the need to cut. At this point, we can't afford to get somebody who would do that for the extra stuff. The hope is that as we grow, maybe to pick up the levels of your bus stops, your Simuka, we'll get to, but at this point, it's really just going with it day by day, trying to do what needs to be done on that day. If it's we need to film today, we need to edit. But I think it's also important to have those, those relationships with people. Like, I know on any given day I can ask for help from Bus Stop TV or from Simuka and say, guys, I have this idea. Can we do this? I need in this regard. And I think that goes a long way into tapping into those networks of learning how to do things better. Like there's people that I've learned so many things from, just by watching Bus Stop TV film and think, oh, okay, if I do that, maybe by myself, it might cut the editing time. Or if I do this the way Simuka does, or if I share it this way, I think when you don't have enough resources, tapping into those collaborations really goes a long way.
Yeah, that's true. I was also going to come to the issue of collaborations. Could you,
Right.
How best can we collaborate? As there's Umashlegisa down there in Blawai, there's Bus Stop TV, there's Comic Past and Associates, there's Madhorofiya Public, there's a lot of comedians that we have here, the Mighty T's, the Madam Boss, the Passion Javas. Yeah, he's a comedian. There's a lot of comedians out there, and I feel like how best can we collaborate? Because I believe sometimes breaking away. If you are broken, like you are doing your stuff there, you are doing your stuff there, we might not have that impact that we can have when we are a joined force. Maybe like you said, maybe you are putting up one big show that will then unite everyone, and that will bring in a lot of money. So I don't know what collaborations can we do. There's sketch comedians out there, there are stand-up comedians out there, there are skit comedians out there, satirists. How best can these people unite and come together to at least build an industry?
Do you know, like when it comes to the issue of collaboration, personally for me, it's a tough subject because there is the public perception side of it where collaboration comes from people wanting to present a united front, right?
Yeah.
Like because people on the internet like peddling these rumors. They say, Madhorofiya is not friends with Umashlegisa, or is beefing with so and so, and then people end up being forced to do these collaborations just they right? But then whatever stuff they create is not good. Or like it's like I was thinking of situations where how many artists, how many musicians have we said, oh, so and so Japreza is beefing with so and so, they should, they're in competition, they should. But then the song that is made is like, we really didn't need this song. I've always believed in collaborations coming from a point of, if you feel that energy, when that energy is coming, like it comes off, you come up with a skit and you realize Gonyet is the perfect person for this.
For that, yeah.
Or Kadem is the perfect person for this. Or Ntando is the perfect person for this. Not a thing where you do a skit and you're like, let me just throw Tando in because I haven't done anything with Tando. And then people start saying, that guy is not now you're putting Tando under pressure because you're trying to prove something. Or maybe Tando is putting me under pressure because you're trying to. So personally, I've always believed like the strongest collaborations, even if you look at the way Bus Stop TV came about, just the issue of Maggie coming across with Gonyeti, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't, that's an energy where you can see that there's chemistry here,
Sure.
You look at the way that Comic Pastor does with Nigel
Slick, yeah.
and all the ladies. Like that's a chemistry that imagine if they were going around saying, okay, I'm tired of Nigel, let me go do Kandoro. People would say, bring back Nigel.
Like even besides Kuti Kandoro, kandoro might still be fun, and people will still say, "Bring back Nigel," because they are used to that particular chemistry too,
Exactly.
which is
So
also that's
so I think collaboration should come from a place of incredible energy. When you feel that things should not be forced, let's not force things for the industry, because you end up hurting the industry more than you're helping it. You know, as long as we understand
right.
each other, that there's no beef, there's no, like, my energy is correct. We don't need to proving things to people. That's what I think.
All right, and Tando, maybe you want to say something about having collaborations, as comedians, the pros, maybe the challenges that are associated with that.
Yeah, man, I think just to add on to what Kandoro was saying, collaborations are good in a way, but also again it's about strategy, man. You can't just collaborate for the sake of collaborating. Like, at times, the good part about collaborations is if you know your strengths and you're collaborating with people that are gelling together, with a team that is gelling together, and the content that you're creating comes from a common point of understanding, then it's okay. The cons of collaboration
Okay.
is at times, uh, in the name of collaboration, at times people seek to take advantage in collaborations. They say, I'm going to collaborate with Bustop TV just because Bustop TV have got this whole following, this huge following. So I just want to pick a bank on that. And
It's
then
not because of the cloud.
Mahlekisa just comes. Yeah. So now Mahlekisa just comes to Bustop TV with really with nothing to collaborate with, you know,
Yeah.
and call it a collaboration.
Agree.
They're not even bringing quality content, not even bringing, anything to the table that is tangible to say, we did this collaboration. So for any collaboration to work, I think people should be coming from the same standpoint, a common understanding, and the content should also be reflective of both sides of the teams collaborating, because if you are going to do something with Maki, and you've got Mandla probably there, then it should reflect why Mandla had to come together with Maki than having to show that no, Mandla just wanted to write on Maki, just in a manner of speaking. That's one way, but but the power the power of collaborating now is when you put in the same energy and you put in, the same work ethic and the same work ethos, and deliver something that is good, then that is a positive collaboration. We've done collaborations at times for the sake of experimenting. In this industry, some things you do them for experimenting, and somebody says, why don't we do chess and comedy? Why don't we do Madhorofiya and comedy in Simuka? And we just run around that to as an experiment to see if things can work. That is another angle of collaboration, and whether it works or not, at the end of the day, the results then empower both parties to know
Because you've
what
learned.
works and what doesn't. At times, at times we need those kind of collaborations that are not solely to realize, say, economic or personal gains, but that are there for research purposes, to ensure that we are building an industry, and so that we get to know what works and what doesn't work in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you just also touched on what I thought as much. Like sometimes the challenge is I want Kandoro to collaborate with Kandoro, but the gango approach Kandoro actually Roera invoice, Pisa. Like if I approach someone, I've got this idea, I'm actually Roera quotation, and now in any because from the side that I am, I don't have the money. So already that would have killed that collaboration. If you check a film, I'm sure we all know Panopera film, the credits. There's a lot of credits that come after a film ends, which means good, that particular film was not done by one person, it was done by a lot of people. And these people have come together to put up that single thing. And these films sell lots of monies and they realize a lot. And sometimes it's difficult to build such things, such greatness, because munhu wekutanga wauda kutotanga kuapproacha wacho akutokuchaja. So the moment aunozosvika to the 100th person, wangu hausvike, unenge usisina mari. So Sylvia, how best can or maybe Ntando, you want to say something here before I go to Sylvia?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, there it's also a collaboration if Kandoro comes with a big invoice, because then it depends on how you approach him on the collaborative element. That's the other thing, because at times some collaborations need you to have an element of be a person of means, and that's why you see when, like, for example, Nox went to Master KG for that collaboration, he paid an arm and a leg, because he needed to invest that much in that collaboration for him to be somewhere, So it depends on the type of collaboration that you are seeking. So at times we should also be cognizant of the fact that some collaborations are solely based on quotations and and invoices.
Just to add, say, I think it goes back to even his earlier point of, that issue of collaborations for collaboration's sake, and the issue of energy. It's like if I come to any of you guys and say, guys, I have this idea, let's try to do this and see if it works. I think you might be willing to listen and hear me out, right? Because of that prior knowledge of each other, even if we haven't worked with each other, but because we know each other. But if someone random comes to either of us, and this is someone is just popping up from nowhere and approaches Bustop TV and says, guys, I have this idea, but and Namari, they're going to be like, so what are you bringing? Because Bustop is already risking, they're already risking that name. What are you bringing to the table? That's where the invoice comes in and offsets that risk. You're coming with this idea, but Tipochi, so that it suits our risk. We are putting our name, we're putting our people, we're putting it. I think Dopa knows that balances on collaboration because but that's really the truth. How is it a collab when I'm bringing like 75% of the stuff?
Everything.
It's like, I loved the example ya Nox ya tauro yekuti right now Master KG ari kupisa. If Nox hadn't paid that bag, if Nox hadn't paid an arm and a leg, that would have been a donation. It's not a collaboration. It's a donation. It's Master KG just saying, I want to donate my time and green, because they are piggybacking off the song with the biggest song in the world. So I think those little things matter in the greater conversation of collaborations.
I agree with you 100%. They say a broke man with ideas. I don't need someone here. That's not my idea. Because the person is not convinced as you may get off your limits. But also, like, I want to support what Kandro said. There's a statement that Rex Nongo once said, Kohondo. I came across this with Dr. Kel. He says, "Kana yo chipimba mskana unotanga nekubata mazamu here kana tunotanga wambomnyengerera before you do that." So I think also for people who may want even business, clients come through, hey, we want you to do this for us, and then muswaru tanga kuya, it's your first time interfacing them. You don't even know if these guys can afford to pay or will be able to pay. And bakutanga kutnetsa kuti mari chichichi awadatotanga kubata mazamu before you have built that that relationship you need to know background yemunhu first before you start doing these things, these freebies and stuff. So Sylvia, I'll throw this to you. How best can we maybe explore our local opportunities, maybe be it collaborations or any opportunities, even international opportunities from this art of comedy?
Your collaborations, really tricky. Kuti, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
You have to surely bring something. Unless can I donations at all
Yeah.
Kanduranti. But one thing that people take for granted is growing their own audience. If you want to grow, or if you are an upcoming comedian, grow your audience. Let's say that you're trying. And then when you grow your audience, you collaborate your audience near another, the next person's audience.
Sure.
That way you're collaborating. After the fact that someone can be paid or someone cannot be paid. Then surely people can collaborate with their creative side and their audience. You want my audience, you want Pastor TV's audience and Simuka's audience to combine so that you can have a bigger audience. That's the advantage of collaborations. But first, grow your own audience. Some comedians, they take social media lightly. They take online platforms very lightly.
That's true.
But they're comedians like Kandoro, they're very active, and whether you like
Sure.
it or not,
Yeah,
you
they will
see
pop up
them
every
on your
time.
timeline. So it's rewarding at the end of the day. You may look like you are wasting time and all, but the audience grows gradually, and then you can have something to offer when you want to collaborate, and it's easier for you to present and say, I have this idea, let's work on it. Someone can easily accept that offer, and you start working on an idea because you already have an audience, also an active one.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, because most collaborations don't involve money. It's very rare for someone to come to you and ask for a collaboration and then offer you money. If they do, it will be just a thanks,
Yeah, a token of appreciation.
a drink.
Yeah.
But for us, we've been doing collaborations a lot with organizations like Magamba. They're also big in the comedy industry. And
Yeah,
if
sure.
you have been following up on trends, we've been doing the school of satire with Magamba. They are
Yeah,
also
would also like to acknowledge Pastor TV also is our partner during the Simuka Comedy Festival. So yeah.
yes. We have also been we've been collaborating with Simuka for the longest now as well. So those are some of the opportunities that you create for yourself, and not wait for someone who's already big to come to you and ask for a collaboration. But you have to create the opportunities. I've said this before. You have to create the opportunities for yourself.
All right.
So that's the other.
No, thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. And then maybe this takes us to an issue of maybe funding, be it grants, sponsorship, and certain funders, you have got certain things that they want pushed, or maybe certain sponsors, or even clients. A client comes with the money is there. They're like, but we want you to do this for us. Maybe you're pushing their brand, or maybe anything, or any other agendas. How then do we balance this as creatives, as comedians? Because I know as Bastop TV, you've got your mission, you've got your vision. Lekisa, Madhorofiya, you guys have got your vision, a focus area that you focus on. But then we meet these various clients that probably wants to sponsor, partner, fund, but they may have maybe agendas or different things that they want pushed that is different from what we are focusing on as comedians. How do we manage that?
I think. You can go see.
Okay. With advertising or with sponsored content, there's a saying which goes, it's actually a quote. He who pays the piper dictates the tune.
May you please go back again? I didn't hear that correctly.
He who pays the piper dictates the tune.
All right. Yeah.
So that's usually the case. Advertisers bring their money and they tell you how they want the content to be presented.
Good. Yeah, sure.
Cases, but we have worked with some organizations. We've given us our creative freedom. Organizations such as Heroes, they've plainly told us, go ahead, create your content.
Do what you're doing. Do what you guys. Yeah, what you just did. Yeah.
So it's up to you to do that, especially with corporates. Corporates, they want specific wording. They want they have specific themes. It's very rare for them to tell you just create something and publish. They usually tell you, even in traditional media, advertisers want to dictate to you how you present the information. That's a challenge. The money comes with terms sometimes, and you have to choose either being broke or
Sometimes there's no option. Do you need to choose? Should I leave this money go? You don't need to choose that.
from your experience, though,
Okay.
the money and create content that the money. You also create your own content that gives you freedom. So you do both. You don't just wait for content that's paid for. Because you are going to need the money to run the show.
That's true.
But you also have to do your own content that is not paid for. Because that content is the fun stuff. It's the content that grows your audience.
Yeah, that's true. That content was consistency. Consistency. When people see, like like you said, every time they're seeing you popping on their timeline, every time they're seeing popping on time, there is a time that's going to come whereby people are going to end up following your stuff because they know you're consistent. Yeah. So I think that will help the channel grow. It's only unfortunate that these days, data dura, the views are getting a bit low, but I hope it will pick up.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
King Kandoro. You wanted to say something with relation to. You wanted to say something with relation to. If it was a sponsorship, what client wants? Yeah.
I wanted to say I've struggled in that. I've struggled in that realm because I personally I don't like being told what to do.
What to do?
I think I've struggled. I've struggled incredibly in that realm in terms of like we've started conversations like with different corporates. Like people approach you and say, "Oh, can we do this?" And then usually when they approach you, they're like, can you come up with concepts of what we can do? And then you share the concept and then they start feedbacking on those concepts. But my thinking has always been, Kuti, this conversation did not start with me approaching you. You guys took notice of what I was doing. And for some reason, you thought it was a good idea to bring it here. So there must be value in what I'm doing that brought you here to begin with. So then now I'm confused to why. Because for you to get to that decision of approaching someone, you need to have some level of conviction and saying, okay, we think Kandoro might be the best person to share this message. So, and that is based off me seeing my previous work, right?
Yeah.
So you should at least just trust me to do this the way like the reason why you came to me, just let me do that. So I think I've struggled in that realm, and I've always tried to run away from that model as being, You know, because I think once again the problem might just be to Madhorofiya. There is no back and forth. It's just me. I can make arbitrary decisions. But the thing with when you look at organizations like your Simuka, your Magamba, your Bastard TVs, it's now a lot of people involved in that decision. It can't just be like he's saying with no in green because Sylvia is involved. So that you're thinking more broad based. It involves maybe, but I think when you have more people, maybe it helps with the decision making or the adjusting. But I've struggled in that realm of adjusting those expectations, and sometimes it works, but most of the times
I feel what you're saying. If I hear you correctly, it doesn't make sense. Could you guys hire Japreza and then ask him go in Zuda? Like
that's
when you went
thing.
to
you go to Japreza and you say apa tanchidaka vibe kapasta G.
Then it doesn't make sense.
Ukabuda uri soft ukachimbomira zvekuti then you're like come on, so why did you come here?
Boy, yeah, I get you. Sometimes these clients, they let you film the content, they approve your script, they approve the script, you shoot the script, and then after what happens the script, now they want you to change stuff, which is also another cost. But they want to pay once. They're not paying for the reshoot, and then it doesn't add up sometimes. So these are some of the challenges that we also get. Ntando, maybe you want to talk about the issue of balancing, your organizational values, focus areas versus what clients bring to you.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, particularly with us, we are picky with clients because we have a certain mandate that we aim to fulfill. If you are coming expecting, there are certain jobs that we do not take because they are not our scene, they are not our point of call. We don't, no matter how much you are bringing to the table, but we are just not about that. So I think it's about the organization ethics. If something is against what we believe in, or it's against what we are trying to push, or the image that we are trying to portray, then we don't take that. So that is the biggest risk then of trying to create a balance, because at times you then lose out on some clients because of certain standards or set for yourselves as an organization.
Okay, sure, that's true, because sometimes it may be extreme, but the challenge is sometimes you need the money, and you just need. So it all depends. It all depends. Yeah, it all depends. But I like what you say. Like sometimes you have your own stuff. If it's going against that, then you need to just stick to that, which is good. So maybe we just want to round up the show. Our time is run out. Maybe if you want to give your last remarks in terms of how somebody can become where you are now, what do they need to do, for them to be where you are? Maybe some people right there, you guys are inspiring out there. I'm sure your inboxes are flooded. They might message people that want to be you, that want to join you, and some of them are serious. And how best can they be?
The eco cash. Not
the DM. Yeah, there you had it, guys. That's the plan. The eco cash. Yes, if you are DMing, send a little something. I know. But maybe what are your last words, King Kandoro?
Not just the pictures on DMs.
Yeah, I know. Maybe King Kandoro.
I think in terms of last words, I think the most important thing to tell people about comedy is that comedy is not a try business. It's not comedy is not a business that you come to see how things are. Like I get a couple of messages, people saying, I feel like I could do well as a comedian. It's not a feel like a because the most important thing about being a comedian is believing that you're a comedian. Because you have to have that arrogance. You shouldn't be asking anyone to tell you if you decide that for yourself. You don't ask for permission to be a comedian, because it takes a lot of confidence and arrogance to stand in front of people and think you are funny enough to demand their attention. So when you come to someone's say, I feel like I'm a comedian. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense. I can tell that you're not ready, because you're going to get the shock of your life when the first time someone, boo! It's going to crash your spirit.
It will crash you, I know. Your self-esteem will go down.
So you need to get to that point where you have that absolute conviction that this is what I want to do, and nothing is going to deter me. So that when you start getting hit with that, discouragement, people are booing you, nothing can deter you, because you already know in my mind that I'm working towards a certain goal. So I think that's the most important thing. You should not come here if you're just trying to feel the vibes.
Yeah, sure, I know.
Because it's a very serious business, and you should be given that level of dedication to say, okay, I'm very serious about this. I believe in my ability, and I'm going to do this.
Thank you, King Kandoro. Tandu, maybe I'll also want you to give your last words to the people out there that may want to work with comedy with you, that may want to maybe be the corporate world, anyone who maybe they don't know you but they want to work with you. What words do you have for them, even aspiring comedians that may want to take up the art?
Yeah, I would like to say the Warriors are taking the Africa Cup of Nations. Oh, sorry, wrong. What I would say is
wrong speech.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say to people that want really,
I think there's a network glitch there. Dando? We can't hear you. We can't hear you properly there. Dando, can you hear? I think we got a glitch. So maybe Sylvia, I'll give you this opportunity to say maybe your last remarks to the people out there.
To new players, I would like to say comedy is not only for entertainment. It's a lot of things. That includes a channel of information. That includes a platform for creating relationships and all sorts of things. And don't wait for an opportunity to come to you. Create the opportunity for yourself. You don't go out, just like what Kandoro was saying. Create the opportunities for yourself. The opportunities are very difficult. They are scarce these days. Create them. And people will recognize you. By force, they will recognize you. They will see your hunger. And stay relevant. Keep up with trends. You have to be a news person, you have to be a trends person if you want to be in the business of comedy. And you have to stay connected to other players. You have to interact with the audience, interact with other players. Apply for opportunities, apply for the call outs that always go around on the internet. Apply for them. One day is one day.
That's true. That's true. Well said. Tando, we didn't get you the last time you were saying something. Please, maybe just share your last remarks to the people out there.
Yeah, connection was interrupted at that point. I was saying, if you want to be in this comedy business, man, like Kandoro said, you need to understand that you'll need to eat, sleep, go to the toilet, comedy. Also, work, be willing, and also, comedians, we have a lot of issues that we deal with, as human beings. Also, one needs to know how to separate their business from their personal life, so that it's also reflective of who they are as a person, who they are as an entity, as well as who they are as a person on stage. That is very vital. That way, it also helps even the corporates or whoever to be able to identify with us and want to commit to working together with us. And like the Warriors are going to the Africa Cup of Nations.
Wow, wow. Guys, thank you for that. Thanks, Dando. Thank you, Sylvia. You want to say what?
About comedy in Amari.
Why Angachinyepa, Tando was lying. So yeah, comedy is money. For God's sake, you know that kid Emanuela. Emanuela bought a house for her parents. I saw that headline yesterday. Like she did through comedy.
Yeah, but Emanuela wouldn't have done that in Zimbabwe because
Definitely not in Zimbabwe.
You can get something, cooking oil, you can get them something, at least. So
yeah,
guys, thank you guys for being here. Unfortunately, our time has run out. Unfortunately, we could go on and on, but you guys, thank you for coming through. I'm sure people out there were watching, have seen how you can manage to bring this funny investment out of comedy. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great day. To the viewers, I hope you guys are going to enjoy the rest of the Simuka Comedy Festival. Until then, peace.